Hey, I was asked a question about how do you build your email list? I mean, how do you get an email list of like 30 some odd thousand people? It's like, are that many people clamoring for your information? And no. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pull back the curtain on how do you get an email list? And I'm going to tell you on the front side, this will offend some of you. So I want to give you a disclaimer. If you don't like my answers here, don't shoot the messenger. Rather, just ignore it. Don't use the ideas and create your list your way, okay? But let's go down 5 different ways. Number 1, first, and that is mine your LinkedIn first level connections. What? Yeah, that's right. Per LinkedIn, your LinkedIn data belongs to you, and you can download and archive it at any time or view the rich media you have uploaded. That's directly from LinkedIn. So here's an example. I have 16,948 first level connections, and from that, I downloaded my LinkedIn data, and of the almost 17,000 connections, I had 393 that provided email addresses. Okay, time out really quick. It used to be that when you signed up for LinkedIn, you put your email address in, and initially it was public to your first level connections. So years passed when I mined my LinkedIn account, I got a treasure trove of emails. That is not true today. But again, of the almost 17,000, I got close to 400 that provided me email addresses. Now keep in mind, they've agreed to be connected with me and they provided me their email address. So here's the controversial philosophy, and this is for the United States only, okay? If you're outside of the United States and the European Union, ignore this whole thing because it doesn't apply. But if my first level connection provided me their email address, and that is my data per LinkedIn, therefore, I'm going to assume I have permission to email them. If they didn't want me to have it, they wouldn't have provided it. Fair enough? Okay. Now, if you disagree with me, fine. But my experience is that it's true, and if they don't want you to email them, they'll unsubscribe. Okay. Number 2, and I'm not getting paid from this company, but it's Talkadot. It is an amazing way for professional speakers to gain new emails to populate your list. You see, the Talkadot website says, today the speakers who collect and use data are the ones who command the highest booking fees. That's because these are the speakers who can prove their worth. Talkadot is amazing. It gives you the ability to gather data in the midst of your presentations, which I'm finding to be just phenomenal. I mean, think about it. You're doing an amazing presentation, and in the meeting, people have the ability to connect with you, to provide their email address, which helps you grow your list and your sales. Okay, now number 3, data mining. It used to be there was a website called associationexecs.com. Today it is association-insight.com. Now, the first thing you need to know, and this is, if you want to buy a membership to that, if you are an NSA member, National Speakers Association member, it is an amazing resource, and it is priced for $400. Now that seems like a lot, except if you're not an NSA member, it's something like $180 a month. So just that pays for your membership. Now, what do you get? Well, I can search association-insight.com for the executive director and or director of conventions and meetings. Now, then once I've identified who I'm searching for, I can search by association size. In my case, typically I will search for an association that has more than 1,000 members. Because if you've got 1,000 members of your association, you're probably having an annual meeting, and they're probably hiring professional speakers at the annual meeting. Then you can search by the location of the association. So I could search for example, all South Carolina associations or all healthcare associations nationwide that have more than 1,000 members. Okay? Now, I did that, and the results were, in the healthcare search, there were 4,543 contacts. That's executive director and directors of meetings and conventions. So I had 4,543 contacts, of which 2,576 provided email addresses. Now, again, they didn't ask me to email them. That's true. But they did provide their email address to an organization that actively sells them to buyers like me. So the question is, if I don't want to be emailed, I won't provide the address. But if I do want to be emailed, I make my address available. So in my opinion, they gave me de facto permission to email them since they are willing to provide the email contact information. Now, here's the thing I found. AssociationInsight.com is an incredible tool to give me accurate connection information for associations who hire speakers. Now, let's look at number 4. If you've watched my vids, you know I created a book on designer.io, DESIGNRR.io. The book was about preventing fraud for small businesses. So I sent that out to my email list. And the offer I made was share the link with your membership and I will provide the book, it's an ebook, to your membership for free. Now, the result? Several associations took me up, well, actually more than several, took me up on the offer. And since an email was required in order to receive the free ebook, I picked up over 500 new email connections. Now, lastly, my email account has been active since 2006, okay? So, have you ever thought about how many emails do you get per year? How many people are emailing you? Now, most are legitimate connections that have some interest. In other words, we've got some interest in communicating with each other. But did you put their email into your email database? I mean, obviously you've been talking. See, I found out that when I looked at my vast email data, I had over 5,000 different email addresses of folks that had communicated with me. So I pulled those addresses from my regular email and put them into my email database, which for me is Constant Contact. Okay, so how did you build a database of over 30,000? Well, practically 5 different ways. I just shared them. So for me, with a 26% average open rate, I'm finding that I get a minimum of 1 engagement per week. Now, when I was sending out an email once every 2 weeks, I get far fewer inquiries. And more than once a week increases the number of unsubscribes. So look, I hope this is helpful. And hey, subscribe to continue to our discussion on speaker marketing. Okay, I'll see you soon.